Basically, I had landed up with the DSU scholarship in the initial year. It was based upon the economical status and those things, backgrounds or something. Usually, like they give it to all who apply for the public universities here. So I had this university scholarship for the first year, after which you have to secure them by having your credits and so credentials based on the scorings and you take up in the initial year. So I guess like they give up until the fifth semester, that even if you cross the years, they give up to your fifth semesters until you graduate. So that was really helpful. There were like few people who were like really helping. There was student community that was back then, it was like so good, that was welcoming people from all grounds, like without any bias. They were like really helpful people back then. The professors were like really helping in getting to know or reach the companies with the right mindset or at the right time. The real thing is like when you have the real focus or real interest in studies, you won't have the time for your part-times. Whatever you do, just have this focus for what you came. It might be a part-time, but still do it at a limit where it doesn't affect what you really came for. So if it is affecting what you really came for, then there's no point in coming here actually. So it's not about earning money, it's like just to assist or aid your studies.
You got scholarship for your tuition fees or living expenses, or how it was?
It was a tuition waiver and also for basically for the expenses that we endured during our college days. Basically your examinations would be like two-way thing. Like there'll be midterms basically, which will be split into two different examinations during the semester, or you can take the end calls, like where there will be like written exams for few subjects and a oral part, or it depends on the professors and their time schedules. They just align this thing. So basically I would say like when doing your courses in general, also back in India, who does this schooling, it's better like to go with the concepts and know deeply the concepts. Yes. Basically. So because once you get into the exams, we can write whatever you want and we can just pass the examination, but it goes into oral. They really check your understanding of the concept. After coming here in doing masters, that was back in the time in 2019, 2020, still we had this issue of human scavenging things, the manual scavenging things that we are doing back in India, and there were like other third countries that still people enter the drain holes to clean stuffs or something. So I just tried to develop a mission because I was doing advanced mechanical design. I took this concept, probably it might help, just an initial push that we need to do. So I tried to link my university with the Chennai Metro Water Supply and Sewage Board, and I tried to connect with, because it was during COVID times, I had difficult time connecting to both, and I did a project, initial phase of a project that helped in manual scavenging of manholes.
Hello everybody, welcome all of you. My name is Shivaraman, Director of Europe Study Center. So today we are going to interview our student Ananda Krishnan, who studied in Italy and currently working in Italy. Ananda Krishnan, welcome to the show.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for welcoming me here, for doing this interview. Yeah, calling for me for this interview. Yeah.
Thank you so much. And please introduce yourself to our audience.
Hi, myself Ananda Krishnan Ramanathan. I am a mechanical engineer. Basically, I did my bachelor's back in India, Sairam Engineering College, with the bachelor's in mechanical engineering. After which I pursued a 1-year work program in back in India as supply chain analyst. After which I did my master's in Politecnico di Milano in Italy. I pursued in the field of mechanical engineering with a specialization in advanced mechanical design. So right now I'm with Hyster-Yale group as a concept engineer, basically working on what I wanted to do.
Super. Amazing introduction. So audience, right from the bachelor's till currently where our friend Anand is working, that is what we are going to discuss in this interview. So to start with, you studied bachelor's in mechanical because basically you were interested, or somebody else told study mechanical? How it was?
That was like a basically push from the family. Obviously it worked. So okay. Yeah. So I did my 12th in biology. So I was about to choose medicine, but somehow I landed in mechanical. So yeah.
Now I don't think you will have regrets, I guess.
No. Right now, no. Yeah.
Super. So you studied 4 years of mechanical. Even though your parents told this particular course, you studied. I guess in the due course of 4 years, I guess you only develop more interest in mechanical.
Yeah, obviously. The thing is that you need the initial push from your parents. Basically, I'm a lazy person. As norm that back in India is like I'm a lazy person. So just the initial push, but I give my 100% in whatever I choose. So
super. That's important, right?
Yeah,
Tamil
that's
they used to say, எடுத்துட்டோம். You have
எடுத்துட்டு
to finish it
முடிச்சிடணும்.
up
Yeah,
successfully.
give you
Exactly.
100%.
Super. So at what moment you decided, I think bachelor's alone is not enough. I have to push myself and do my master's.
Yeah.
Which moment was that?
Uh, that was basically, I would say, like, if I remember correctly, it was Anandi. Also, this was like scenario was completely different. I was just assisting my friend. We obviously we just came along to AC, and there was this lady Anandi. She was like motivating me badly. She was like, "Okay, what you are doing currently? No, I work as a supply chain analyst. Is it what you really want?" That question helped me to think about something. And she was like pushing me, what's your score, what you do, what's your interest, and blah blah blah. Like we chit chatted for like few minutes, and then she pushed me some initial ideas about masters here and there. Then I said like, okay, let me give a try. And then she gave me some ideas and suggestions. She motivated me, that initial push that I was referring to. Yeah, basically it was
Super.
from there I started.
Are you happy with that particular motivation or not?
Yeah, absolutely. I still remember the names. So it's basically, I'm grateful for them actually.
See, our ideology, brother, we always say, if in case, forget about the DSU scholarship that we get in Italy, all the other countries, bare minimum, it will cost us at least 12 lakhs for 2 years. Okay.
Yeah, that's true.
So if your parents can afford this with loans or whatever possible ways, and you are also interested, don't miss this opportunity.
Yeah, that's true.
It's once in a lifetime. You go, you get exposure to all these things, and it takes you to places.
Yeah,
wonderful. So she motivated you, and that's how it started. The friend who came along with you, did he start or he did not start?
Yeah, he went to Slovakia. So he was studying in Czech. So yeah.
He went to Slovak and
yeah.
So once she started this thought process in you, did you visit any other agents and consultants, or even
No.
did you look into other countries, or only Europe and only Europe Study Center?
Yeah, it was just Europe Study Center, and basically I did some research, and she gave me ideas to initially go along with your friend. You can go to Czech, Czech. Back then I didn't have what geographical idea of what Czech was, where it was. So exactly, so I just want and she suggested some few more countries, and I applied for also for other countries. But I had limited options. But with my research, I didn't want to go with Germany, since it was like overcrowded at that. It was like overhyped. So places. So I didn't know. Back then it was like that, so I don't want to go to Germany as my first option. So I just went on with Sweden, Italy, and basically just two, I guess. And I did process for both. I got into both countries actually.
Super. And both the countries, only the premier universities, correct?
Yeah, premier universities. Yeah, exactly.
Super. That's how it is. Like, life is once. What is the joy, Anand?
Exactly.
To study in a
She had much more
university.
fun than me. Actually, she applied with.
Pardon me?
She had more fun in applying for me than I was. So she was like, no, you have to, and she pushed me to get. I think back then I had this option of two countries like Sweden and Italy, and I got into top university. Like in Italy, she said like, Polimi, I think you have little bit chance, but let us try. And also the other university in Sweden, I think Sweden's process is like a bit different than Italy. You can in Italy basically can apply for many universities, but Sweden you should give this priorities of list. So
what did you apply in Sweden, by the way?
I applied for a program that was like super interesting. Back then, it was like a 4 semester courses, but not in universities, but at industries actually. So 4 semesters at 4 industries, and you get to have this turbo missionary course. It was like super good. I just gave it as a chance. Let us try. Okay, let us try. I thought like I won't get it, but eventually I got it. I was like, she called me one day and said like, you got both. I was like, are you serious? You said like you won't get. Like you got both. Seriously, yes. And she was the one who was super excited with me. And like I then
because the excitement is because we know where you are heading, what level of universities, what quality of universities. Even to the same Italy that you studied, even today hundreds and hundreds of students join wrong Italian universities, and they blame Italy end of the day.
That's true.
Whereas we at DSC, we promote only the top universities in any country, and there is no exception when it comes to Italy also. So you choose Italy, Politecnico di Milano, which is a top ranked university. So what is the title of your master program?
It was basically mechanical engineering, specialization in advanced mechanical design.
So, advanced mechanical design. Wonderful. So after all your elaborative visa processes, as you know, Italy always takes a lot of time. But I always tell students, brother, no pain, no gain.
No gain.
Okay. You have to go through the grind. You have to go through the grind for us to be, to reach greater heights. So
Mm-mm.
once you reached Italy and you
Okay.
started your first semester
Mm-mm.
at a university like Politecnico di Milano, how
Mm-mm.
challenging it was.
Um, it was a bit different environment as a whole,
Okay.
since it was like Italy, a new country, first flight that I'm taking off from Chennai, so directly
Okay.
land in Italy. And there were like few people who were like helping, really helping. There was student community that was back then, it was like so good, that was welcoming people from all grounds, like without any bias. They were like really helpful people back then. So it was like initial introduction was getting to know people and around was really helpful. So it was like easy immersion with people. And I am not one who gets afraid of these things, so I just like went it with the go. Yeah,
Super. Because that's how we pack the bags,
that's okay.
right?
Yeah, yeah,
We explore.
Yeah.
There
That's
is
true.
nothing to
Nothing to
lose
go
or
wrong,
nothing
so
to
we just
fear.
try. Mhm.
Exactly. It's all about exploring.
Yeah.
So when it comes to the first semester,
Mm-hmm.
about the education wise, how challenging it was.
Actually, it's a bit different because I would say to the back to the myself personally, if I would have taken this course, I should have done enough research, because I just know I selected the country, this course, and I didn't prepare much. So I would say like you need to really be cautious when you just select a course and go through the syllabus, like what is the things that you get to be prepared with. So basically that would I say, like it was initially at the beginning, it was like little tough to know what exactly I'm going to do. There were like basis was created back in my bachelor, so but there are a few subjects that was out of our
Nowhere.
knowledge. Yeah, out of nowhere it comes out, like, yeah, and you need to really grind yourself more and more for those subjects. So it was like bit difficult, and people make you go wild when they say about those things. I just say like go from on your own. Don't listen to anybody. Just have your
Yeah, yeah,
own,
exactly.
yeah, create your own
Exactly.
path. Mm.
Exactly. So first semester was challenging for you.
Yeah, obviously all semesters are challenging, but still the first initial phase was like, yeah, bit challenging.
So how did you overcome all these challenges? Because back home in India, we learn differently. Here, the learning
Mm-mm.
pattern is completely different. So
Mm,
I'm asking
yeah.
this question because people watching these videos, they will land in these European top public universities with the right mindset. So
Mm-mm.
please.
That I would say is like basically from my schooling. I would say like I had this schooling from a central board syllabus, so where people doesn't let you to be a bookworm or like go through the books or just have the exact words from the book or something. So it was back then I had this practice of like learning what it is, write what it is, whatever you know, and the concept and the answer that you asked for, instead of like preparing for like I had this also. I did my 11th and 12th in a metric syllabus where people used to by heart. These are like what it looks really weird for me. So I didn't have
Yes.
this kind of schooling. So I was like bit okay back then. So that helped me a
Super.
lot. So I would say like people just don't go by books, just go by what you really learn. Get into learning phase, not just by hearting.
Conceptual learning.
Yeah, conceptual learning, exactly.
Okay. 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 So when the professor introduces a new topic,
Mm-hmm.
so he teaches you from A to Z or fundamentals and mostly it's self-learning. How it
Yeah,
was.
that was actually good. I would say like here the lectures won't be like a book that they give you, and this it will be just slides, and they give you the topics and then explain a little about like little more interest you need to take on your own personal stuffs, and you have to go research your own materials, do the library works. This is where library things comes up. Okay, actually the library helps really a lot. It means something here. So it's not like libraries back then for reading storybooks or something. It's just for preparing the materials. Because back in my bachelor's, I never went to the library for taking referring subjects or some books about the subjects, but here it's all about that. So you need to prepare your own materials to know really the concepts behind those topics. So I would say like if you really interested in what you do, you just do it.
Exactly. Or in other words, you are really interested in doing something, get to the
Mm-mm.
bottom of it,
Get to the
understand
bottom of it.
everything.
Yeah,
That
exactly.
topic will take care of your entire life. It will
Entire
keep
life. Yeah.
going and going and going and going. Of
Mm-mm.
course, learning is a lifelong process. We will come to
Mm-mm.
that.
Mm-mm.
That is my second last question in this particular show. So
Okay.
then, how helpful were the professors were? Because it's a top university. I know the workload is going to be
Yeah,
really,
it's true.
really up throttle.
Mm-mm.
Without qualified, experienced, and dedicated professors,
Mm-mm.
we cannot reach
That's true.
success. So,
That's
how
true.
knowledgeable and how helpful these professors were.
I would say like that's where I learned this aspect of connecting with people or approaching people. Actually, this is like that won't. It is not that is what taught, or it is like back in bachelor's is like easy to access the professors. They'll be like, if you have any doubts, come to me, we can just discuss, but we won't go. But here it's like they won't be available and we have to push because we need to know the subject. So it is completely different course. So I would say like that is where connecting with people and how to approach people that I learned, that like it will be difficult because obviously there are foreign professors, they won't speak the language of us, so it will be really difficult at first. But when you have this approach step by step, you'll learn to get to know the knack of approaching people with the right questions, and they will rightly answer your questions. I learned that basically after 1 or 2 semesters, but still I got there at that point. Now I'm able to do whatever uh, I really want to. So now it's like easy to connect people.
Super. Bless,
Yeah.
these challenges only makes you stronger.
Yeah, that's true. It's also learning that you out of this university courses or anything, you learn these things basically here, coming here in these universities.
100%. And why do I pull all these my past students and request them to do an interview is because young people, they should not think everything is easy.
Easy, yeah.
At the same time, they should not think everything is difficult. It's all a process.
It's all
process.
Yeah,
Nothing else.
That's true.
So, and then when it comes to the assessment, or in Indian words, examination. Okay.
Examination.
How does it happen there? What sort of examinations and etc.?
Basically, your examinations would be like two-way thing. Like there'll be midterms basically, which will be split into two different examinations during the semester, or you can take the end calls, like where there will be like written exams for few subjects and a oral part, or it depends on the professors and their time schedules. They just align this thing. So basically, I would say like when doing your courses in general, also back in India, who does this schooling, it's better like to go with the concepts and know deeply the concepts basically. So because once you get into the exams, we can write whatever you want and we can just pass the examination. But it goes into oral, they really check your understanding of the concept rather than having you saying statements about blah blah blah. No, it is not what it is required. So it's basically saying like they know, they are professors, like they know the end point, so they understand and evaluate on those things. So that's what it was a bit different. But since I had this upbringing from the schooling, so I was like little bit good. And also it is better to have a good communication. You will learn to communicate with these people who speak the foreign language, and their English will be difficult. That was the difficult part in taking the oral exams, I would say. But other than that, it was chill for me.
Yeah, because they are also not native speakers, but
yeah, native speakers.
By the way, audience, medium of instruction is completely English.
Yeah.
Nobody has to learn any other languages as such, which I would like to quote here. And then next important factor that I wanted to say was the professor's industrial connection that they bring into this entire system. Because a university becomes special, a university becomes top ranked only when they have industrial connection.
Yeah, that's true.
Which is really important. And these professors, they spend part time at the university with you guys, and full time, they spend at the industries and their research project. And some professors even have their own companies. So talk us through this experience of studying in a top premier university which has loads of industrial connections.
Yeah, that's true. Here, I would say like the industry, like the universities basically operate in like with the industries around. So they create people. They know what is required in this region. So probably they'll have this, kind of programs that work with the companies to create the solution. So basically, the students will be, when they are doing masters, they will be basically working along with the industries to know what is the actual requirements of the industries or whatever. So in this way, the people are also diverted to the companies where they get connections on about knowing about the real stuff. So that way we can also connect with the people and they know the stuffs, and we can prepare ourselves well ahead while doing our courses. So that is kind of a program back in my university. So that helped me really a lot, and the professors were like really helping in getting to know or reach the companies with the right mindset or at the right time or whatever way.
Yes, because same in my case when I studied in Sweden, Linköping University.
Okay.
Way back in 1960s or 1970s, it was started because they needed some research facilities there by all the industries. Then they approached the government, and it was started along with the industries and the government. Okay. this particular university. But
Okay.
whereas back home in India, when it comes to the private institutions, we see an empty land immediately when college comes up. Okay.
That's true.
And around the college, we have the juice shop and the tea shops, basically, not the
Yeah.
industries.
That's true.
This is where the problem starts, because
Yeah.
a university without industrial connection, it's like building a beautiful house without water and electricity connection. It's of no use.
That's true.
University should have industrial connections.
Also, I would say, like, in my case, there was a thing that after doing my bachelor's, my dream was to work for automotive firm back in Steve Perambuttur. You know this firm. It is a big firm.
Yeah.
My university, like my college back home, was like really good. They had this placements for these happening for this industry, but the amount of applicants were 800 from top 4 colleges. I just went on to levels. There were like 10 rounds of interviews. Still remember 10 rounds of interviews. Like from filtration, I just went on to the 10th round. So I thought like
Super.
almost like, I thought like, okay, I'm just capable of doing something. But at the 10th round, it was like they selected just 6. Okay.
6.
I was dropped out in the final round. It totally drastically changed my mindset. Okay. I'm just gonna be like okay with whatever it's like, whatever it's gonna. I just landed up in a supply chain role, which is also basically good. But it was like my dream was like shattered there back then. It was like completely shattered. So it is like for 800 people to be interviewed for a 6-person job was not a really good thing. So
some setbacks are also required.
yeah. That was the thing that Anandi pointed out and pushed me like, okay, probably not here, but why not abroad? Then she hit me that fire within me.
I would say it's good you did not get selected. If you had got selected in that particular company, you would have not thought about doing masters.
That's true.
This is what is happening. People come to our office, Anand, at the age of 31, 32, 28, 29. Sir, I met you 7 years before, 8 years before, sir. Do you remember me? I was like, how can I remember meeting somebody 8 years? Sir, now I want to go my masters. This is my wife. This is my kids. My kids will be taken care by my wife. And I want to go there and study. I said, sorry, the time is over. And see, core engineers, brother, we need masters. No choice. We need masters, develop further skills. And you don't have to worry then. 8,000 people or 8 lakh people apply, we will still find our employment because we are not just skilled, we are super skilled. When you study in a university like Politecnico di Milano. My next question will be, it's a very important question by the way, because they take all the efforts, get admission in a top public university, then not everybody, some students, they deviate, they lose focus. They're picking up part-time job, not coming to classes, etc., etc., etc. And these are the peoples who blame who? Europe is not good, Italy is not good, Politecnico di Milano is not good, Shivaraman is not good. All these things comes up. So please enlighten the young minds watching this interview. Why it is very, very important to stay focused?
That also depends personally. I would say like for me, I was a comfortable raised child, so I didn't want to end up doing these things to make up my own living. So, but also there are people who really think about the families. I have been with people who really think about the families, don't want to burden them with many extra monies or something. They do their part time, but still, I would say like the real thing that is important is like whatever you do, just have this focus for what you came. It might be a part time, but still do it at a limit where it doesn't affect what you really came for. So if it is affecting what you really came for, then there is no point in coming here actually. So it's not about earning money. It's like just to assist or aid your studies. It's not like the completely getting into that side. So I wouldn't really I don't want to suppress the people who like having this part-time ideas, but still I would say like have it a limit that doesn't affect your studies. But the real thing is like when you have the real focus or real interest in studies, you won't have the time for your part-times. So just don't have this mindset.
Exactly. When I studied, it was the same, brother. When you studied, it was the same. See,
that's true.
Only when I say don't do, they will do little. If I say you can do, they will do.
They'll come with that's true. They come with the idea of that, hey, if I can do part-times, no. Then you will lose interest on your studies.
Exactly. I don't get single pice to my pocket when they are doing part-time. And I get nothing by telling no to them. But the reality is, you may say some students will still able to manage working part-time as well as studying. But that's a very minuscule percentage. Many people they go off the track. So
That's
it's
true.
good to stay focused, as our friend Anand has mentioned here. So coming to the next concept, what was your final year? By the way, before we talk about this, enlighten about the scholarships that you received.
Um, Back then I applied in the last minute actually, so I didn't came up with the DSU scholarship, and there was also like other scholarships that were available. So basically, I had landed up with the DSU scholarship in the initial year. It was based upon the economical status and those things, backgrounds or something. Usually, like they give it to all who apply for the public universities here. So I had this university scholarship for the first year, after which you have to secure them by having your credits and so credentials based on the scorings and you take up in the initial year. So I guess like they give up until the fifth semester, that even if you cross the years, they give up to your fifth semesters until you graduate. So that was really helpful. As I said, I didn't do my part times, but I basically managed myself to be within this limit, cut off the other
Super.
expenses. So I just finished it. I think, yeah, I just finished up till I found a job. I managed to do or survive with these scholarships.
Super. So
Yeah.
you got scholarship for your tuition fees or living expenses, or how it was?
It was a tuition waiver, and also for basically for the expenses that we endured during the college days or something.
Okay, so tuition fees is waived off by the DSU
Yeah.
scholarship.
Yes.
Every month you get some funding, or in
Yeah.
a year they
It's
give you
like
some
per
money?
semester they give you funding for the expenses that is incurred or something. So they basically help you with that, and also they have this daily coupons for food expenses or something. So that also helps.
Super. So who will say no, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Getting admission to study in a university which is double digit ranked in the
Mm.
world,
Yeah, that's
and
true.
they take care of your expenses. They give you scholarship, and all they
Mm.
expect you guys is to sit and study. That's
Mm-mm.
all.
That's true.
Super. Amazing. So what was your final year project?
Uh, I have this thing like to do project when it comes to projects. Back in bachelor's, I had the different mindset. I don't want to go with a stigma like saying like, okay, it is automotive. I'll just look onto the real problems of the world. So back then in bachelor's, I did a project regarding farming aspects, the club in like various aspects of farming and difficulties. I did a research back then. I did a project regarding that. After coming here in doing masters, that was back in the time in 2019, 2020. Still, we had this issue of human scavenging things, the manual scavenging things that we are doing back in India, and other. There were like other third countries that still they people enter the drain holes to clean
Mm-hmm.
stuffs or something. So I just tried to develop a mission because I was doing advanced mechanical design. I took this concept, probably it might help. Just an initial push that we need to do. So I tried to link my university with the Chennai Metro Water Supply and Sewage Board, and I tried to connect with, because it was during COVID times. I had difficult time connecting to both, and I did a project, initial phase of a project that helped in manual scavenging of manholes.
Super.
It is a robotic
Amazing.
system that I developed. Yeah,
Super. So technology is all about making people comfortable
yeah,
and solving real world problems. I'm
exactly.
completely with you on that. Unnecessary technologies or
Yeah,
other aspects which is not going to solve any problem or only going to add more problems, I would like to stay, you know, uh, far away from that.
yeah.
So, at what moment you started applying for jobs?
I actually basically graduated in 2020 of July, 20 July
Okay.
of 2020, and it was during the COVID phase. So actually, I was the first person to take up exams in COVID times in my university. So it was like end of my April, it started, COVID started. So I just like I was the first person. So I just like took the calls and finished it somehow. So and after July, it was like bit difficult phase for finding jobs here. It was like COVID phase, like the jobs were getting scrutinized. So many scrutinization happened, but I waited 8 long months, and then I landed my first job in 2021, 2020, I guess, 2021. Yeah,
Super. Super. So, which company and what was your designation? First job.
yeah. First job, it was a design role, and a firm which produces forklifts. So
Okay.
like logistics and forklifts components and those company. It was like Lift Tech LA Car, which is international organization which has a headquarters in US, also in Italy. So just both firms, like they work on mast components that is really working on forklifts. So it was my initial phase, and it was completely new. I would say like back then with I still had this mentality like it's just car, right? No, it's like machines, right? I didn't have really understand what it was initially because it like completely forklifts and people say like, was it not automotive company? No, it is forklifts, and I need to explain people what really forklifts are. So now I had 4 long years over there, and I really came to know that it is much bigger market in sense of like real world. So now I am rightly working at a Hyster-Yale material handling group. So it's one of the top companies in this field.
Okay, super. The current companies, your designation?
I work as a mechanical engineer in concept team.
Concept team. Okay.
Yeah,
So what are your
product development. Yeah, basically.
okay product development? Basically, what are your roles and responsibilities as a product development at your
Right now,
second?
yeah, in the second job, like I would say, like initial job, it was really difficult because you're getting into Italian firm basically with Italian people, and studying with the people, foreign people is different, and working with Italian is really difficult. I would say like you need to know their culture and be with them, and it won't be available for anybody for chit chats, and they won't be easily available. So it is like, difficult for the initial few years, and but then I groomed myself to somehow fit into that zone of
Super.
working with foreign people. So later on, then to know this knowledge about the subject, entire was everything was completely different for me. So it was not easy, I would say. Nothing is easy, but still you need to have this one by one thing every moment. So I just did this for 4 long years, and it really paved me the way for getting into this industry. I would say it was not easy. The role right now I'm in is super good, super this, super high. They say like it was not easy to achieve this position. It was not easy. Yeah, that's true.
Imagine from a guy attending an automobile industry in Sriperumbudur getting rejected and
Yeah,
to join a world's top firm and at an excellent position at young
yeah,
age. You have come
yeah, that's
a
true.
long way through.
Yeah, I would say like I landed this job myself. Nobody helped.
Yeah, of
I
course.
did.
It's all yours
That's
only,
true.
brother.
Yeah, yeah,
You
definitely.
you pushed yourself.
Yeah,
You
that's true.
pushed yourself, your perseverance and your never giving up attitude and
Yeah, that's
thinking
true.
positive. That's how it keeps us moving forward. And
That's
that
true.
too, to do all these things in between the COVID time,
It was much
to get,
difficult. Yeah,
yeah, see,
many
people
people went back home in COVID times, but I still stayed here. That's true.
easily they give up, easily
Yeah.
they will sit and complain. How many stories I listen? Sir,
Mm-mm.
this professor is not good, university is not good, this is not good, that's not good. I say, like, I have no time to listen to this. You
That's
sit
true.
and find solutions. Don't sit and find
Problems. Yeah.
problems. And
Mm-mm.
that's why we do these interviews, right? To
Yeah, that's
share your
true.
experience, what happened, how did you go through. And I
Mm-mm.
really like the way that you put it across. Nothing is easy, nothing is difficult. Process,
Process
focus,
makes. Yeah,
sit
that's true.
and grind.
Mm-mm.
That's it. And that's what I tell you, all these young minds, when they visit offices, world is full of lazy people, boss, nowadays.
Mm-mm.
Okay. With all these apps and all those things, everything is easily available, all full of lazy people. You take little efforts also, you grow to greater heights.
Yeah, that's true.
That's how it is. So you will have good work-life balance also, right? In
And
your
right
organization.
now it was complete. It is completely cool, and yeah, it's really good job. I would say I'm
Super,
happy
super.
right now.
Of course, that's quite evident on your face.
Yeah, that's true.
And you don't have to force yourself and quit mechanical and jump into IT. Nothing.
Mm-mm.
You are,
That thing. Yeah, that's there.
yeah, you are studying and you are
Engineers. Yeah,
working what you wanted to do with your life.
that's true.
End of the day, success is all about when you are able to do what you want to do with your life.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes, that's how it is, and that's the whole idea of doing these interviews so that we're able to
Mm-mm.
give some clarity, input, thought process, etc.
Mm-mm.
So, what are your leisure activities?
I would say like since I did my bachelor in my masters in a way that it was like so occupied, I didn't have time for like these leisure activities at times. Like we used to back then, it was like a big student community where like moving around with people, meeting people. That was there, but right now after work, it is like just chill. Saturday and Sundays are like take off, just sleep off, and yeah, like you get maturity when you get to a certain age. You don't get out like easily and do stuff. Yeah, it happens.
So, by the way, audience, Anand has taken this time. By the way, we do this interview on a Saturday, so he has taken his time out on a weekend to do this interview, which we should be really thankful to you. So, brother, when it comes to the mechanical department,
Mm-mm.
what are the emerging technologies which the student should focus to learn in this particular segment to be successful?
I would say like right now it is better to work on the technological aspect instead of going the basic mechanical. I would say like yes, it is good to know the basics. Just have the start with mechanical or whatever sort of engineering, but it is good to know a bit of AI because AI is going to be the future. People who won't, it's like not knowing AI as a separate thing, but I'm just saying like in try to inculcate in a way that you go towards AI. At some point technology is the future. Basically it's not, I'm just not asking people to go just like learn AI. Oh, what is the course in AI? No, I'm just saying like have this course where it takes to you, like ultimately it is going to be the future. If you ask me, the future AI is going to be the really technology that is going to guide any industry.
Yeah, see, AI as a tool. See, you
Yeah, as
study
AI as
core
a tool.
engineering.
For that, you need the
Ah,
basics of mechanical. That's what I'm saying.
exactly.
Don't take AA courses.
Super. See, Anna University also said the same. They said,
Mm.
why are people, what to say? So many people taking up artificial intelligence, data
They don't
science,
know
data.
what actually it works and how it works. I'm just saying, like,
It's a huge rush, brother. But
yeah,
always we should only look at these as tools. Okay,
yeah,
these
these
are all
tools. Yeah, I'm just
tools.
saying, yeah,
That's it.
tools.
Tools.
The
That's all. These are all
skill set,
not
probably you would say.
subjects.
Yeah,
Exactly. You study core engineering, whether mechanical, environmental,
yeah,
chemical,
that's true.
aeronautical, civil, anything, and
That's
use
true.
these tools. You're going to be
Yeah, exactly.
leaders. You're going to be
Yeah,
domain experts.
that's true.
That's what nowadays I'm. Even if you had not said, that was
Mm-mm.
my next question actually. How
Yeah,
to integrate these tools into your because there is nothing that is going to replace fluid mechanics, solid mechanics,
yeah,
material
exactly.
science,
Mm-mm.
production engineering, manufacturing
Without
technology.
knowing these things, people just want to learn AI and just say like, what? No, it's for
Yeah.
no use. So basically, I would say like, yeah, try to have this integrated system, or I think like there are integrated courses back home, or these things like also in masters there are integrated courses for these
Yeah,
kind of
they can
things for
always pick
technologies
up some
actually.
subjects.
Yeah.
Yeah, they can always pick up some subjects and study, and that's how it is.
Mm-mm.
Super wonderful, and very happy looking into your life journey. And I guess you should be thanking your friend also who
Yeah, that's
took
true.
you to Europe Study Center
Yeah,
when
that's
you
true.
had no plans.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I just also have to have this interview or this whole thing to appreciate him as well. As well, like back then, it was like Shubhashini, if I remember, Shubhashini, Sonia, and Anandi are these three
Right.
people who really helped them. I would really want to thank them for pushing me every step. Yeah.
Yes. And young minds with lot of wariness and no clarity on what to do. We
Mm-mm.
stick to the fundamentals, and as long as students is listening, and as long as the student understands, we are telling for his good. We don't mind,
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
going through this grind n number of times.
Mm-mm.
Wonderful. And for us to be a part of your successful journey, a small part or an initial part, we are really
Yeah.
happy. And when you listen to all these success stories, for me 16 years is done. It
Mm-mm.
motivates me for the next 16 years.
Yes.
Really happy. Super.
Mm.
Super. Any last points that you wish to say to our audience before we sum up this beautiful interview?
Yeah, it's like I just signed up for this interview just to basically document also on my part, like to really know like what I've been through from where it is. Like it is a documentation of myself digitally somewhere to look up after a few years. Like yeah, it's
Yes.
basically so. But back to the guy in that day, I would say like really it was good, and I would say like also like people like me who just have to do the initial research really well, know what exactly what you're doing, but stick to the process. Don't look up for the results. Results may come, fail you. It may be ups and downs, but still stick onto the process and try to have this perseverance to do this process rightly, and it will take you to great places you eventually don't know. So just wait for your right time. When time comes, you'll really go high places.
So you believe in, I always tell this to students, believe in lack of skills, do not believe in lack of jobs. Do you accept
Mm-mm.
this,
Yeah, that's
Anand?
true. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
Because you got a job during the COVID time, brother.
Yeah.
When the
Mm-mm.
world was talking, oh, the world is over. Everybody
Mm-mm.
lost employment. We have
Mm-mm.
nothing to do, but still you
That's
got
true.
employed. So, youngsters, this is also a point. Whatever the challenges are, you be positive and you are up for the game, you are going to get it. Thank you so much, Anand. As you rightly said, for you also, it's a digital document for you.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's true.
For you, when you look back this interview 5 years, 10 years back,
Mm.
this is always there. And school children are watching these interviews, Anand.
Mm-mm.
You know, and they are going to get inspired.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's true.
I
It's
have to
true.
be focused. And what did
Mm-mm.
we talk in this interview? Full of positivity. We asked
Yeah.
the students to sit and study. Don't
Mm-mm.
hesitate to do anything.
Mm-mm. That's
Spend
true.
less, learn more. Don't sell your ancestral property to go abroad and study.
That's true.
It's so painful, when students
Mm-mm.
say, "Sir, I sold my ancestral property and went to UK." I feel
Mm-mm.
like, for
There is
what?
also like you have to break the stigma. Like this one stigma basically. They say like once you, it is higher studies, it was just US back then. Also like the years before, like US, Canada, these cold countries. I would prefer like saying like there are many number of countries. Also for me, I would say like there are even like places where people are less populated. There are like plenty of jobs. Let's look for what you really want. Choose the country wisely. It is not for the courses or anything. It's basically for the right place. You should be at the right place, right time at the right place. You'll get a job of what you really need.
Yes, all these 16 years, Anand, any country I promote, whether it's Germany or Czech Republic or Italy or Slovakia or France, send to that country's number one, number two university. Done and
Mm-mm.
dusted.
Yeah,
Rest
that's
is all
true.
with the student. Same
That's true.
happened to you.
Yeah.
Politecnico di Milano is the number one in Italy. No competition for that particular university.
That's true.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. It was great having you here. And best wishes to you.
Yeah.
All the best.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.